So this week we were able to interview Harrison via FaceTime. So we actually had a pretty long interview with him, asked a lot of the questions that you guys had and a lot of questions that just didn't really come up in his more recent interviews.
So the interview that we did was actually over an hour long, so we're going to break this up into different parts. This is part one.
So today we have Harrison Maurus with us. He placed third at this year's Worlds. So first and foremost, thank you for doing this with us. Our 100-ish viewers appreciate you being here.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for having me.
Our first question that we have for you is, so you got the first, men's medal in 20 years. Has anything changed for you after, securing that bronze medal?
Not really. We're still approaching training just as hard. We're still, working to refine what we can do, our movement patterns and all that stuff. But otherwise, not really. It's just another competition. I mean, hopefully we can do more like that and earn better medals, and this will look like chump change later on.
Cool. Yeah. And also, there's been lots of talks about your total that you hit at Worlds being the highest Sinclair in American history with the new weight classes. So this is kind of like uncharted territories, I guess, as far as training drug-free lifters as far as we know. Has there been any changes in your training since your total is just getting to an even higher level?
Well, yeah, I mean, since I don't use drugs, we have to be very careful about how we approach training so that we don't overtrain and I get hurt. Kevin's really good about looking at how many reps versus how much weight we do, and I don't know, there's a lot of math behind it that I don't know that he's really good with. But you just got to be careful. I mean, I can't recover as fast as, some people, but got to be smart about it.
So as far as in your preparation going to Worlds, did you have any specific goals?
Yeah, so we always go into every competition trying to maximize where I place to help out the team as much. Of course, the higher you place on competition, the more team points you get. So we were really looking to maximize team points to try to bump up the men's team. But we had numbers in mind as well. Ideally, I would have wanted to hit a 61, 200. Those would have been the best numbers I could have ever hit. I'd only ever snatched like 56 in training before, but 61 would have been a youth world record snatch, and
right.
200 would have obviously been a youth world record as well. But I wanted 200 because I could claim youngest American to clean and jerk 200 right now.
Oh, right.
Ian Wilson
Yeah.
at 18. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've totally forgot about that. Yeah, I think that's in his Instagram description or
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still got juniors to do that. So
Okay.
junior nationals next month.
So are you going to be competing at junior nationals?
Kind of depends on where my training's at, whether or not I'm ready. It's kind of in the middle of a cycle between now and junior Pan Ams, I guess. So we'll kind of see where I'm at, what numbers I'm hitting, whether or not it's worth it to take time and actually go push and then have to recover and all that good stuff.
Actually, I have a question because there's been a bit of a change to the team selection method. Since you're moving up a weight class, do you have to put in a competition as an 85 before being eligible to be selected?
Yeah, so actually, as far as I understand it, what they'll do is, since I have a high enough total as a 77, they'll just use my total as a 77 as a qualifying total for the 85s. So my total as a 77 is 3 kilos, I think, under Jordan Cantrell, who's the currently top-ranked 85.
Okay.
So if I use that 3 kilo under total, I'll be ranked second behind Jordan. So hopefully at juniors as well, I can bump that up and take that first spot back.
Well, it sounds like, just kind of by your description, it doesn't sound like you're going to be peaking for junior nationals. Do you have any competition in mind that you would be peaking for coming up?
Yeah, so we peak moderately hard for the Pan Americans, which are interspersed between the Worlds, but the Worlds, Junior Worlds, and Senior Worlds are what we peak really hard for. It was the same with same kind of idea last year. We peaked super hard for Youth Worlds, and we peaked super hard for Senior Worlds.
Yeah.
You just can't keep peaking over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's right, because that's when you set your youth world record clean and jerks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, because it was the 192 and then the
193,
right.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about some of your best, clean and jerk and snatch numbers. So what are your other PRs? So Is your back squat still like 265 or is it higher?
So
than
I've
that?
doubled 255.
Okay.
Tried to double 265. Made one, missed the second one. But that was a while ago. So right now it sits at 265. But I stayed at 265 because we don't max back squat, like hardly ever.
Yeah.
Like it's a rare day, like a rare day. I think I've only done it once or twice where I've max back squatted. Same with like deadlifts and pulls and all that stuff. Because I mean, it just wrecks you. I mean,
Yeah.
hit a max back squat, your legs are done for a whole week. That's not what I need. I mean,
True.
Yeah. So it sounds like from kind of what you just described, you're trying to go for 265 for a 2-rep max, and that's when you hit, and then you hit it for a single.
mm-hmm.
So do you ever go for like a 1-rep max?
In regards to squat, I can't recall the last time I won a max back squatted.
Okay.
It would have been a long time ago.
Yeah. That's really interesting, actually, because like when we were listening to the MASH podcast that you and Kevin did, he kind of talked about how when you're looking good in training and he thinks that you could push it, he always tries to make you do a PR double first. So like we know that recently you posted a PR double of a 190 clean and jerk, and then you doubled 150 as well in snatch before you decided to open with it. So like realistically, like since I don't know your best double is like so close to your best single, if you tried right now, what would your best single do you think it would be? I guess.
I mean, there's a little bit of like, I haven't tried the single, so I don't know what I can do. So the potential is a lot higher, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really do think I was good for like 98 or 200 at World. So
Yeah.
moving up a weight class, have a little bit longer to train. I think a 200 clean and jerk is not unreasonable. 200 plus. 200, 205 clean and jerk in the next year at least. That's
Okay.
an 85.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that 200 kilo clean and jerk for a double. That'll be pretty unreal.
Oh yeah. Me too. Trust me.
So you post a lot of your like big lifts on Instagram. Do you keep your training pretty public, or do you have any reservations or anything that you try to keep private?
Not really. I think Kevin and my general idea about training is that anything we can do to help progress the general sport, we're willing to do. So I mean, Kevin is always talking to the other like national level coaches about like what we're doing to help, maximize my progress and like taking ideas from them and sharing. And I don't think we've been veiled about my training at all. I think it's all out there for everyone to see. I think people generally know. It's good for people to see that like I can hit good numbers, but there's weeks where I'm just like in a deep valley. But makes it human. I don't know. And if anyone has questions, I mean, don't feel bad about reaching out, asking questions to either Kevin or me.
Yeah.
And
Kevin's really active online too, so he seems very open and easily accessible as far as questions are concerned. So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, he's good about sharing if you can get a hold of him. It's the getting a hold of him part that's hard.
Yeah.
And I think actually he's working with Travis Mash, I think, to write a little mini book about what my program was like building up to Senior World. So
cool.
Kevin has a spreadsheet online that I put literally every lift above like 60 or 70% into for the past 2 months leading up to Senior World. So I think he's going to publish that. So talk about transparency. You'll see every single lift I've done.
Cool. It sounds like you guys are like really collaborative in terms of training. Do you find that the other coaches in American weightlifting have a similar attitude?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you kind of have to. We're in a time in the sport that we really haven't been in for a while, where we're actually seeing, international medals, not only in the men, I mean in the women as well. I think it's because we've started to share more information among each other. I think the old training methods were like, my way's the best, so I'm going to keep it secret, so all my athletes do the best. But sharing, giving more information about where each other are at and like what works for a certain athlete, you can apply it, and maybe you'll find something that really clicks for your athlete.
So what do you think that you and Kevin have learned from some of the other coaches?
Yeah, so 1 or 2 years ago, I'm not entirely sure, but Kevin and I did a summer trip down to Dana Camargo and
okay, cool.
Ray Jones and the Cohens, in Savannah, Beaufort, and where's Danny? Miami, I guess. But we went down there and really got to see how they program and how they train and how they coach day to day. So working with Danny, I mean, we went down there and like really worked on jerk technique for a long time. That's what was holding me back, and came out of there with a much stronger jerk and drills to work on. So we learned from that. And of course, there's a coaching symposium as well recently coming up that all the coaches are going to at the Olympic Training Center. Okay. Kevin's been invited out there. I know Dave Miller from Garage Strength in Pennsylvania has been invited out there. So they're all going out there to work out kind of what their goals are, I believe.
Well, that's really cool because that really is bringing that not only like the collaboration at the coaches level, but at the administrative level too. So it seems like they're in full support of that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Phil and everyone else at USA Weightlifting has been super good, trying to include all the coaches, and Mike and Piros are always listening to the personal coaches as well.